Good morning. Welcome to my channel. My name is Maria and it's been a very long time since I've done a video, but I thought there was no time like the present, so I figured I would show you what I've been doing. At least I've done a video recently, but not a video of what my projects are and stuff. So let's get started. I am a multi-crafter. So you will see a variety of different things here, mostly just cross stitch and knitting this time. Next time there may be some other stuff. So first off is 'Tis the Season. This is by Blackbird Designs, and this is stitched on Picture This Plus pewter using Gloriana threads, and this is a 40 count. I started this in 2018, I believe. And I finished it earlier this year. So I love how this turned out and I'm anxious to finish it. Haven't quite fleshed out what I'm going to do as far as fully finishing, but that is one of my first finishes. My market start is Delft Blues by Summerhouse Stitchworks. This one. I have started keeping a list of my whips and stuff, but this one didn't make it on, so I'm not absolutely positive. Oh, you would like to see it right side up, correct? This is Delft Blues. This is using a silk conversion. Those are dinky dyes. I can give you the numbers if y'all are interested. Just let me know down below, but I do love how this turned out, and it only uses three different colors, so this was a fun stitch, and this was my market release. That was my chart that I did from market this year, and a couple others. Another one that I finished earlier this year. We'll put something behind it because it might show up a little better. Oh, color's better. I actually did this video yesterday and I rambled on an awful lot, so I thought y'all might appreciate it if I shortened it a little. This is Spring Blossoms by Modern Folk Embroidery. The fabric is 28 count PTP Demoiselle, and the thread colors I believe is Popcorn by Mrs. Sadis. This is one of her silks. I love this stitching with her threads, and I really do like how this turned out. I love the pops of blues, and then there's some little pops of pinks in there. So, and it's just so soft. I started this back in when did I start this? 2019. So this was another finish. Another one that I finished this year. This is Mickey Mouse, the Magician's Apprentice, and I started this. This is a long ago start. I believe I started this back in, 92, 93. I only have the working copy now. And I did change the thread colors in here. I believe it was only golds and maybe silvers. I did add the blues to it, or it may have been just silver. I can't remember anymore. I had it stitched and didn't have the back stitching done, and that was the hold up. And I finally finished the back stitching, which I'm absolutely thrilled about. His partner in crime, Donald Duck, is one I've had finished for a while, but I haven't framed either one of them because I figured I would frame them similarly. And Another finish. This one I also started around the same time. You may not know, I am a returning stitcher. I stitched back in college and probably until the early 90s. And I did a brief foray back in about 2004 or 5 and started like one project and didn't finish it until a couple years ago. When I came back in 2017, the angel sitting up there is one of the ones that I started back in, I think I started that in the late 90s or early 2000s. And I finished her a couple years ago. And this one I started, I think this is one of my oldest whips. This is M is for Mistletoe. This is from the Leisure Arts book, The ABCs of Christmas. I don't know what count fabric this is on. This was supposed to be a Christmas ball, so it was a mistletoe ball, and you stitched this 3 times. There's a lot of quarter stitches and half stitches and a lot of confetti and back stitching in it, and I love how it turned out. I'm not stitching it again 2 more times. So I have an idea of how I'm going to finish this, so you'll have to stay tuned to see what it looks like. I am excited to get that one done. Some other smalls that I started and finished this year are strawberries. Some strawberries. I have not fully finished these. I finish other people's strawberries, evidently, and not my own. But this one is, just a second. I have a list here of some of my stitches, my whips, but not all of them. And I know this is from Erica Michaels. I can't remember the name of it. I think it's chocolates and anyway. This I believe is the called for threads, but don't quote me on that. I started this back in January and finished it early February, but not in time to get it fully finished. But that was a fun stitch. This one is Quaker Medallion, and this is from a Just Cross Stitch Christmas magazine. I used a Gentle Arts limited edition thread for this, and this is stitched on Charlotte's Pink. This one I think is my only Halloween stitch. I started this with some other people and finally finished it this year. I don't know what the fabric is. Something I had, I think. This is Yikesberry, obviously, by Erica Michaels. And it has the called for threads. And this one is one of Erica Michaels from her Autumn Berries collection. And this is stitched on Picture This Plus Heartland and with the called for threads. I love how this one turned out. This one I did in August. It was a really quick and fun stitch. And those are my cross stitch finishes so far this year. I have not started a whole lot of things because I have been focusing on my magic list. Magic is something that they do in the guild that I'm in. The guild that I'm in is Tudor Rose Sampler Guild, and it is here in North Texas. And they do out in January. You put a list together of my annual good intentions contract, and you post that and share that with everybody. And those are the ones that you work on to hopefully finish. I was an overachiever this year, and I put 10 on my list. Have I finished 10? No. Have I finished some? Yes. The The Spring Blossoms was one of those, and so was the 'Tis the Season, and I think the Mistletoe one was also on there. But and I thought that the Mickey Mouse one was as well, because I don't mind backstitch, but for whatever reason, I was not enjoying that one as much. So I've been focusing mostly on those, and I'll show you those momentarily. But I am going to show you my knitting finishes. And last year, I focused on a lot of socks. I did do some projects that were not socks, but I did mostly socks last year. And this year, I actually was in a challenge where we did a pair a month. And so after last year, I decided I was going to continue knitting socks because they're easy to take with you, and just, if you're riding in the car, because I can't stitch in the car, but I do enjoy keeping my hands busy. I will usually take a sock project with me in the car if we're traveling or driving or something like that. If it's a little more involved, I may not take that one with me. I may take a small shawl project, but anyway, I will show you my finishes. And again, these are not in any particular order. I will say this pair I started last year. These were my Christmas start. This is, I actually wrote this stuff down. This is the Twisted Breeze socks. I believe this is a free pattern on Ravelry. And the yarn is 12 Days of Christmas by Night Owl Fibers. And it came with a contrast color. So I did cuff and heel contrast, and then just took the self-striping all the way out. So this is self-striping yarn, and for those of you that are not knitters. And so the stripes come all together in one ball. So it's kind of fun just to I can knit one more color, and then, just one more. And so it kind of is easy to do with this. So that was my pair from last year, my Christmas Day start. Another pair that I did, this is these are the Prairie socks. This is a pattern by Kay Jones. Here you go. On Ravelry. And the yarn is a Dream in Color Smooshy Cashmere in the colorway Sonoran Magic. Don't ask me what the heel color is. I don't remember. I think it was the color I had in my stash. And I do really like how these turned out. These look like little mini cables. Let's see. See all the little mini cables? The way it's stitched up. And anyway, I did contrast heels and toes on that pair. Next pair I did, these are the Socksploration socks pattern. This is also available on Ravelry. These are by Earth Tones Girl, the pattern is. The yarn is Tia's Terrific Threads, which is the rainbow colorway. And then the contrast, I believe, is a white superwash that I picked up. And this heel is a lot of fun to stitch. It is a shadow wrap heel. And there's no gapping the way you do it. Sometimes you'll get a little bit of, in a contrast heel, you'll get gaps in there. There's no gapping and then you have to run a separate thread to cinch it all up and make it go together. Her heel does not do that. So even with the contrast, and it is I enjoyed knitting with that heel, as you'll see, because the next pair I just finished these rather recently. These are the Fairy Maiden socks. This pattern, I believe, is available free as well on Ravelry. And this was my first really kind of a lacy look sock. I should have gotten my sock blockers out. But isn't that pretty? The yarn is Madeline Tosh Twist Light, and the colorway is Elizabeth Taylor. And the pattern is by This Handmade Life. I believe it is a free pattern available on Ravelry as well. So, and I did use the Shadow Wrap heel again. And the toe is just a regular toe with a Kitchener stitch. A Kitchener stitch is basically where you weave it in a certain way to make it actually look like it is knit that way. So that's what the Kitchener stitch looks like when it's done. So those are my sock patterns, socks that I've done this year. I started the Stephen West MCal. He's an incredibly talented designer for knitwear and shawls, and every year he does a mystery knit along, or MCal, I believe during the month of October. And you get a clue a week, and you're supposed to be caught up. Well, I started mine in October last year. I did not finish it until sometime in January, I believe. And you didn't know what you were going to knit and how the colors were going to play together. He did, but I didn't. Anyway, this has been blocked. It has not, I didn't cut off all the stray threads, but this is shawlography. I challenged myself with colors that I don't normally use. And so this is shawlography. Love how this turned out. And the nice thing about his patterns is you always learn something new, and he has great tutorials. So he takes you through every single one with video tutorials step by step. So most of the stitching on here I did not know how to do, but I did know how to knit and purl, so you can figure it out. And he shows you step by step. I just love how the colors played together. And it's not a little shawl, as you can tell. So I have not cut off my ends. It has been blocked, and I have woven them in. I just haven't cut them off. Another one I almost forgot is the pattern called the Shelley Summer Top. I will try and show you how this looks. Just a second. Sorry for the glare. I got a window and then I got a ring. So anyway, there's the Shelley Summer Top. And this is knit in DK weight cottons. I have gotten both of the pieces finished. I just need to get them stitched up together. And it is a mattress stitch, which I have not done before. So that's how it goes. You're gonna stitch the top to get the two shoulders together, and I believe you leave an opening for the shoulders, the arms, and then use mattress stitch all the way down. So I have both sides done. I just need to get them fully finished. And this is, like I said, knit in a DK weight cotton. I have lots of yarn left over. Not exactly sure what I'm going to do with it, but I know I'll come up with something. And that's the Shelley Summer Top by Nancy Ricci. I believe that's how you say her name. It's Ricci, and the pattern is available on Ravelry. Last but not least, I finished this one in June or July, I believe. Maybe August. This is the Rick Rack shawl. I started this in April. Colors are not showing true. Cannot get that color to play right. This color in here is actually closer to what this blue is. It's more of a turquoisey color, and it looks really pretty together. So this is a Dream in Color. Colorway is Vivid. And then this one, this multicolored one, is by Buxom Cat Knits. And she has an Etsy shop, and that colorway is Kitsch Me. I saw her post that on Instagram, and I'm like, honey, I really want that skein of yarn. So who knew that a few weeks later, a surprise came in the mail for me, and I had been waiting to find something that went perfectly with it. So this is finished. It needs to be blocked, and I may actually do a crochet edge here along the one edge where I carried thread up. But it is fully done other than that, and I'm excited to get it blocked and be able to use it. So those are all of my finishes up to this point. And I do have some other knitting projects, and I have a number of projects that are on my WIP list. And then, like I said earlier, I put 10 projects on my magic list. I should have only put 4 or 5. Learning curve, overachiever, I'm not going to achieve 10 finishes this year from my magic list, but that's all right. I believe I've gotten 3 or 4 done, and I'm quite happy with how that has, how I have progressed on that. So let me put a couple of these things away, and I will show you what I'm currently working on. Okay, I know that was just for a brief tick in the video, but I got reset, and so I wanted to show you what I have been working on. These are my focus whips for the year, and I have these out by my stitching area, and I'm currently working on one specific project because I put a date in it at the beginning of the year, and my goal is to finish that. But I'm going to show you these because I think all but one of them have gotten some love throughout the year. So let me get started. This one is Cirque de Circles by Ink Circles. And this is a big piece. I put this one on my magic list, like I said, and it is being stitched on Mesa, I believe. Yes, Picture This Plus Mesa. And goes like this. So it's not a little piece. I had been cruising right along on it, and I messed up someplace one weekend when I was really working on it. The colorway is not showing. Whoops, just dropped everything out of my bag. And the color, this is a pretty bright peachy color fabric. This side is showing truer, but it's showing still a little more brown than it actually is. And the threads are, I believe this is Darling. And yeah, that's the color. I love how it plays on the peach fabric. But yeah, I ripped back a lot and then it went in timeout. So that is Ink Circles Cirque de Circle. And I believe I know it's not going to get done this year. The next piece is Flora Graphica. Oh, and I started that one back in 2019. I believe that was a Stitch Mania start. I didn't do actual Stitch Mania. I did a bunch of starts the week of my birthday. But this one is Flora Graphica by Jan Hicks Creates. And I started this at StitchCon. I only did about 10 to 12, maybe 15 stitches. So it has gotten a little bit of love, not a whole lot. This is 40 count Lakeside Linen Pecan Butter. And I'm using the Vicki Clayton silks for this one. And those are a dream to stitch with. And I do look forward to getting back to this one. It's going to get some more love before the end of the year, but I don't think it'll get finished. It's a big piece. Next piece is Brown Bird Biscornu. This is stitched on, this is what it looks like. This is stitched on 36 count, I believe. Yeah, 36 count Old Mill by R&R. And I've gotten a lot done on the front. But it's not fully finished, and nothing on the back. And I'm hoping to get this one done. We'll see. It's kind of a hit or miss thing when I get to stitch. I usually stitch in the evenings, and I am, because I've been so busy with my collaboration with Jan, I have not necessarily been able to stitch as much as I was. Next piece is, yes, there's a couple new starts in here. This is Poinsettia. This is in the For Love of Cross Stitch magazine, January 1990. It's this piece here. And the reason I really wanted to stitch this, I stitched the Magnolia back in the late, when did I don't remember when I finished it. But that is a favorite piece of mine, and I really wanted to do the poinsettia. So I've gotten started, and it's obviously not finished, and I do have a thread tail hanging out there, and I didn't iron it. Sorry, guys. I don't even know what fabric it is being stitched on. I know it's a black. It's probably a 36 count, 28 count Jobelin. Excuse me. And I'm using the called for DMCs. So that is the poinsettia. The next one is, we'll do this one. Alice in Wonderland by Satsuma Street. This was a mystery stitch along, and she started this back in 2020. It's now fully released, and I started it right along with everybody else, and I have yet to fully finish it. Did I close it? No. Let me close my bag just a second. There you go. I'm using the called for DMCs, and I've gotten a lot done. I just have the 2 blocks, as you can tell, that really need some love, and then the one with the cat needs a bit more attention. It's almost done, not quite finished, but all the other stuff is done. So hopefully I can get this one done, and yes, this is on my magic list. So were the other 2. It has its own project bag. Next one is Leeds House Sampler by Rosewood Manor. This is being stitched on 28 count helix. Should have pulled it off all the way. I had been keeping it on its Q-snap, and when I did the video yesterday, I took it part way off. We're just going to take it all the way off because, yeah. 28 count helix, and Let me see. There you go. That's how far I've gotten. There's some threads still attached. Maybe it's not attached. It's just hanging out. No, it's attached. Excuse that. But yeah, it's seen some love this year. I haven't given it a ton of attention. And this is being stitched with the called for sulky thread pack. It is a big piece. I'm not sure I'm going to do the whole piece, but you'll have to stay posted to see how it turns out, what I end up doing. Next piece is, I think that's it. Actually, I have one more. This one was my birthday start. This is not on my magic list. This is the day. Sorry for the glare. We'll try and do it that way. And this is being stitched on 40 count hog bristle by Fox and Rabbit. And there are more threads attached. I love stitching on this one. This was so much fun, and I didn't really want to put it down, but I needed to do some other stuff. So I was like looking forward to getting back to it. So that's where I'm at on that one. And I am saving the big stitching, so if I'm gone somewhere and I'm talking and chatting, so like the roof line, I can stitch that when I'm chatting with somebody, and hopefully I don't make as many mistakes as I would if I was chatting with somebody trying to count. So, and I am using the called for threads with that one. And then the last piece, I have a whip in here for work, and then one that I started at Stitch Away this year, but I haven't been working on since Stitch Away. Hoping I will get it done before next Stitch Away. The last but not least, and this is the one that's been getting the most attention. I should have ironed it. I did not. This is the one I was referencing earlier that I stitched the date in. This is A Savior's Praise. Looks like this. Sorry. She is big. She's really big. I'm stitching mine on R&R Sea Fog, 36 count, using the called for threads with the exception of the trees and probably the grass. So as you can see, I've made a lot of progress. Well, I don't know that you can tell that or not. I started this back in 2019, I believe. This was one of my other starts, yes, for my birthday. And it's gotten a lot more love this year than the previous couple years. And I actually did almost all the trees this weekend. I'd gotten 2 done. But I'm very excited with how this is progressing. Hopefully I will be able to get this done by December 31st. And I'm loving this. I am, like I said, using the called for threads with the exception of the trees and probably the grass. The trees, I'm using pine needles. The grass, I may use English ivy. And those are my focus whips. And the reason why I'm focusing on this one is because of that right there. See that 2022? I got to get it done. No, this has been, I really love this piece. This has been one of my favorite pieces to work on this year. With the exception of This Is the Day. So those are my cross-stitching whips. my knitting whips. I have a pair of socks, like I said, on the go. It's easy to carry and knit in the car, and it doesn't take a lot of room. This is, the colorway is I Smell Snow by Night Owl Fibers, and I'm using my own kind of pattern, sort of. I'm just basically doing a purl row every time she changes the color, and then I knit until the next color change, and then I do a purl row. So I don't do helical stitching or jogless jogs, so my purls start, and since you're knitting in a circle, it always goes up, so your stitches don't actually join, and then you go up like in crochet. So I am knitting these on a 9-inch circular. I believe it's a 2.25, and having fun. So these go with me when I'm out and about, and I may knit on these very briefly in the morning. I do have a project that I am working on for somebody, but I can't show that one. And then maybe when it's done and gifted. The next piece I'm working on, I started this last year with Jan from Hicks Creates, and she's long since finished hers. I took a sabbatical from it, or I took a break from it anyway, and picked it up here recently, and I've been cruising right along. This is the Nights Who Say Knit. This is a Miss Babs colorway that she had put together for this particular MCAL. So this is a mystery knit along, and it's not showing. This is again a really dark teal, and then it's a gradient of greens. So you have the really dark on this end, and it gradiates out. And I am really enjoying this. I was working on this morning. So this is where I'm at. So that's that one. The colors are, see if I can pull these out. There's the 3 lights, and here's the 3 darks. So I've gotten these in and not these yet. So anyway, that's where I'm at on that. And I mentioned earlier that I had started Stephen West's MCAL for this year. I'll show you my colors. I haven't gotten very far. This is Mad Tosh or Madeline Tosh yarns, and this is the dark contrast, or the main color, the light contrast color, and then I have a pop of color. This just started last week, and I did a little bit. I won't show you a lot because it is supposed to be a mystery, and some people may be watching it, so that's kind of what it looks like. But that is what I'm working on in my spare time. All the stitching and the knitting, which I really do enjoy, and keeps me sane. The thing that I've been focusing on the majority of the time has been my sewing, because if you hadn't heard, I am doing a collaboration with Jan of Jan Hicks Creates. This is our second year to do it. I make project bags, and most of them go into our local shop, the Stitch Niche, and I do a lot of vinyl fronted bags because That's what people seem to like, but I know there are people out there that don't enjoy the vinyl, and I do know how to sew non-vinyl bags. And because of that, and I was chatting with Jan last year, we decided to do this project together, and it was so fun to collaborate on that. We decided to do another one this year, and the themes have been Christmas songs. I know it's not quite the holiday season because we haven't even passed Halloween, but you know, stitching takes time. So, and last year it was so late that I wanted to give people an opportunity to get their holidays to get everything together so they could stitch it during the holiday season and have it finished by Christmas. So we released this October 1st. Her pattern it's called Silver Bells, and I will show you our stitched finished pieces here. Hers is stitched on 36 count Anye by Under the Sea Fibers or Under the Sea Fabrics, and the other one is mine, and mine is stitched on 36 count stone washed. In the kit, I actually did a video, and this is just a recap. In the kit comes a project bag, with the exception of one thing, so stay tuned. This is the project bag, and it is quilter's cotton, and I've used cotton batting and cotton threads and everything, so it is a quality bag. And there's the bag, and then I have a thread bed, and with it also comes your thread drop card and your thread drop hanger. Let me position this just so you can actually see it. So it looks like this. Love how this one turned out this year. It turned out really cute. And then you have a zipper pull, and the beads on the zipper pulls will be different colors, so I can't guarantee that you'll get this color. Has a little star to coordinate with the pattern as well as the bag itself. And then it also comes with, new this year, a scissor fob, and I love how these turned out. They're so pretty. And yes, I made those. My foray, I did make jewelry as well. I don't make jewelry as much anymore. I'll do some things very occasionally for other people, but most of the time I don't make jewelry. And then a needle minder. Let me actually put this on. So I actually took the design and created this myself, and then had somebody else make it. It is a nice quality needle minder. I really like how this turned out. I'm just over the moon with it. It's so pretty. So that's what comes in the kit. We also have fabric, 32 count Anye and stone washed. I have a limited supply of that. And speaking about the fabric, I also have 16 count Anye and stone washed. But specifically about the fabric, Leslie had some issues. I should be getting it by the beginning of next week. So there is a delay on those that have ordered the fabrics and shipping everything out. But I should have everything shipped out for sure by November 1st. And that was the date that I was planning on having everything shipped out anyway, so that everybody that had ordered anything would have their kits in time to be able to stitch over Thanksgiving or into Christmas and stuff. I do have thread packs as well for sale in my shop. The shop name is mysticmeadowcreations.com, and there will be a link below. If you have any questions at all about anything, please feel free to ask. I sure have enjoyed chatting with you today. I hope you all have a fabulous week, and happy stitching.